Hello, love you, Kem.
He's back.
Oh, Christ sake.
Do you miss me?
Hello and welcome to Frame by Frame.
Your favourite weekly film and TV review show on the internet, hosted by us.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Nick, and this week we're here to talk about David Brent, Life on the Road.
So, 13 years after the British TV series The Office, Ricky Gervais has revived his character of David Brent for a spin-off movie. So in Life on the Road, David Brent is still a sales rep struggling to make it as a musician. So he takes all his leave from his job and hits the road trying to make it and get a record deal.
Hello, I'm David Brent. You probably know me as the star of the documentary The Office. I'm currently a singer-songwriter.
Oh, yeah. Here they come.
Come on in. We are foregone conclusion. And a rep.
That's as stiff as you like, and it won't damage your rug. Well, that's what I told her.
When I left Wernham Hog, I found myself again. And I started to do what I do best, entertain. Keep the noise down. Nah, turn it up.
So Nick, were you a fan of the original series?
I definitely have always been a fan of Office, both US and the UK version, but I especially loved the UK version, obviously, because of Ricky Gervais as the character of David Brent. And for me, that was probably one of the major draw cards for seeing this film. It's been over a decade since we've seen Ricky Gervais play the character, and it's a lovable character. He's probably one of the more famous members of a TV show over the last 20 years even.
Yeah, absolutely. And the legacy of The Office has been great. We've had the US Office, as you mentioned, and then Parks and Recreation was a spin-off from that. So, you know, what Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant did with the original character has been quite influential to comedy.
Oh, no doubt at all. And I think that's going to be, for the most part, a major draw card for people to see this film, because what this film doesn't have that The Office has had, both in the TV show formats, is a really strong supporting cast. And that's not to say that the supporting cast of the film, lacks some stars. They're definitely there, but because they're not as big a names like your John Krasinski and whatnot, you don't have that comedic relief. So you don't have for the film, for example, the focus is entirely on David Brent as a character. Whereas in the TV show, sure, you could have David Brent, but then you could go off to sort of the secondary characters and see what they're up to. Because in the film format, after a while, like, the character's really funny and I love him to death, but you kind of get a bit of you get sick of his shtick, so to speak.
Yeah, there's not much breathing room, is there? It's just all Brent all the time, pretty much.
Yeah.
There's very few scenes without him in the film. So yeah, there's no real space to just have a break from him because he's such a full-on character and such an awkward kind of character. There's no time to have a break.
And speaking on the awkward aspect of it, that's sort of what I guess The Office became known for, is it let those awkward silences hang. And for the first half hour of the film, when those awkward silences are hanging and you do have that dead air, it's hilarious, and it's very nostalgic because it's a flashback to, like we said, over a decade ago when the UK version of The Office was around. But when you start looking at a major motion film and you're looking at an hour and a half of these potential dead air, awkward moments, it's been done and you're kind of sick of it.
Yeah, I did laugh. There was funny moments for sure.
No doubt.
But probably no more funny moments than you used to get from a half-hour episode of The Office.
Yeah.
In this case, it was just those funny moments were spread over 90 minutes.
Conceptually, it does feel almost like you could have made this film into like a 40-minute special of The Office rather than an hour and a half long feature film. And you would have, I think, you've been able to put the exact same comedic elements in, same comedic timing. It would have been a little more succinct, and because of that, I think that perhaps more enjoyable. You're not getting tired of it.
Yeah, it probably did get a bit repetitive, the humour, didn't it?
Yeah.
When he was on tour, it was kind of the same gag, just repeating over and over a little bit. But not to say there wasn't funny moments.
And look, I get that the character is supposed to be sort of this awkward, sort of pathetic dude who's not really made it just yet. And look, the film has a very strong message: is you might not make it, but it's worth a try.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the film, he's tried and tried again. You just feel sorry for the character and you stop seeing the funny side of it.
And that theme is very much out of the original TV series too, isn't
definitely.
it? It's kind of, there's a theme of bullying there. It's very easy to kind of pick on these people, but at least they're trying and having a go, and they're not scared to fail.
Look, I definitely say this film's a must-watch for anyone who's a fan of The Office. It definitely expands on the world of David Brent, which is obviously something people wanted. People have been wanting to see more of the UK version of The Office for quite some time. You see him do cameos as the character from time to time across other films and TV shows. But end of the day, it's not the TV show. You don't have the other lovable characters that we grew up with, and I think that as a whole, the film sort of isn't as good as it could be because of that reason.
Yeah, but there was some great elements, like the supporting cast. Doc Brown, the rapper, I think he was
sure.
very good. Maybe a bit underused, but he was really fun.
Definitely. I feel like he was underutilized as well, especially like his musical talents. I know it was on film and done for that reason, but I liked it when he was rapping.
Yeah,
I found that enjoyable. He played sort of more of the straight man to Ricky Gervais as David Brent.
A bit of the Tim from the original Office, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely played more of a Tim's sort of role there.
Yeah.
But I guess, I really think they didn't use a supporting cast as much as the original Office did.
Yeah, for sure.
They almost had, in some sense, because obviously it was a portion set in an office setting, it's like they tried to replicate it. So they had, you used to have Mackenzie Crook playing Gareth in the old version, the UK Office. And in this new film, they've sort of cast another character, Tom Bennett, as Nigel Martin, who sort of plays his, David Brent's lackey. And he's funny like that, but again, you just can't replace these key characters. They're pivotal to the Office as a whole.
Yeah, and there are a lot of similar, like the receptionist, the bully. There was a lot of the same kind of workplace types in this film and the original. So a lot of similar themes there, but no one from the original Office in the film.
Which is a real shame. And I really think as far as the whole Office and sort of continuing the mythos of the characters and stuff goes, I really think that was a real miss. Like, they really should have had someone come through. I don't know who. Even smaller bit characters would have been great to see. And I think that's a missed opportunity. And look, it's hard to say if they're ever going to sort of continue with sort of a character from The Office again, whether that's UK or US. But in future, definitely something that I'm sure that they'll try to include.
But anyway, as a fan of the original, it was good to see David Brent, the character, back again. Ricky Gervais just plays him so effortlessly.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
There's always funny moments.
Almost too natural.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, maybe a bit stretched out for a film.
Watch this film if you like Ricky Gervais's comedy. Watch the film if you liked the character of David Brent. If you really love The Office and you're expecting to come into this film and see just almost an hour and a half long episode, maybe sort of dial back the expectations, because it's not quite that.
Hey! What do you two do?
Work in an office.
Do you?
So, Jim, a couple of weeks back on the first show of Frame by Frame, you spoke a little bit about Stranger Things, which is a straight-to-Netflix original series. And I guess in terms of other original series that have been put out by online streaming platforms, you've been watching Difficult People.
Yes, I've been watching a few Hulu shows. They're doing originals now. So I watched one called Casual, which is a very adult drama with a touch of comedy, also Difficult People lately, which is a sitcom created by Julie Klausner and starring Billy Eichner, who you might recognise from Parks and Recreation, or he does a show called Billy on the Street, where he pretty much just yells at people on the street in his kind of comedic style. And those two play kind of best friends who, it's pretty much them against the world. They are the difficult people, and they are the people who, they hate everyone else.
It seems very believable, because having seen Billy Eichner's character in Parks and Rec, it's not like a far stretch from what I've seen him play before. And
that's pretty much it. I've heard the show described as pretty much those two people's Twitter feeds coming to life. So they're just pretty much letting fly at anyone and everyone. The script is really quick and acerbic, and they just they're laying into people, other actors, shows, networks, everything they just take aim at. And it's them against the world. It's them admitting that they hate everyone pretty much and everything.
Good.
And embracing that, and and they're playing kind of less successful versions of themselves. Their characters' names on the show are Julie and Billy, and they're kind of poking fun at themselves in a way. Cool. But it's good fun. The show lives and dies on if you like those characters and if you embrace them. They're polarising characters. They're kind of misanthropic. But so if you buy into that, then it's good fun. But
I guess it sounds like anyone who's sort of a fan of either of the two, that style of comedy, or by the sounds of things, their Twitter feeds, is definitely something to jump on top of.
Yeah, for sure.
Please give us a show.
Give us a show, please. Anyone in this party, please give us a show.
You're my family.
You're my family.
You're my family.
I know.
So that's what I've been watching, Nick, and you're watching another comic book show.
Yeah, look, in the first week of Frame by Frame, again, we spoke about, I've been watching The Arrow, and The Flash is another comic book show, but it's also a spin-off of The Arrow as a whole. So you do get some of the core characters from Arrow coming through in The Flash. So you get Stephen Amell and a lot of those sort of side characters from the main series. They come through into what's become actually The Flash, like a really popular show. It's about to enter its 3rd season, and it's a lot of fun. It's very similar to The Arrow in the sense it's got a very, so it's not intricate as far as the storyline goes. It's not drama heavy, but there's lots of really cool action sequences. And for fans of the comic books, there's villains galore. Every couple of episodes, you've got a new iconic character who you remember reading about, and it's really great to see them sort of in that live action sense put onto the screens.
Yeah, sure. So were you a comic book reader? Did you read the comic book of The Flash or the Green Arrow?
I do read quite a few comics. Big fan of The Flash, love The Flash. Wasn't as much as the Green Arrow. Mm-hmm. Truth be told, I actually was watching The Flash prior to The Arrow, and then obviously when The Arrow comes into The Flash, I was like, oh, maybe it's worth a watch. And obviously Arrow's very good, so it definitely is. But between the two, The Flash is definitely my preference. I think there's just a really good core characters because maybe it's because I like superpowers. Because there's a lot more superpowers in The Flash than there is with the Arrow. So it's really cool that you can shoot a bow and arrow really well. But there's something really, really quite appealing about being able to run faster than anyone else in the world. It's a really good cast. You've got Tom Cavanagh, who plays the main villain in Harrison Wells. And you've also got Grant Gustin as the Flash, who is, I just think, phenomenal. Really great casting job. Couldn't think of a better person to play. And it's a real shame that he hasn't been cast as the Flash in any of the upcoming DC films.
What happened here?
Just your everyday kind of bad guy shootout. My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive. A friend recently gave me the idea for a new name, and something tells me it's gonna catch on.
Take your own advice. Wear a mask.
Cool.
Well, that's all we've got time for this week.
Thanks again for tuning in, guys. You've been watching Frame by Frame. I'm Nick.
I'm Jim.
We'll see you next week.